and also chief examiner and examiner at paper valuation camps. She is a research supervisor, adjudicator for PhD and MPhil for many universities such as Periyar University, Bharatiyar University, Geetams, and so on.
Okay, sir.
She is a member of many associations such as Indian Society of Commonwealth Studies, the Association for English Studies of India,
Okay, sir.
National Translation Mission of CIIL, Mysore, Ministry of Human Resource Development of Government of
Okay,
India,
sir.
English
Okay, sir.
Language Teachers Association of India,
Okay, sir.
member of Comparative Literature Association of India, and Internal Association of Teachers of English as a Foreign Language UK. She is an exemplary soft skills trainer, master trainer, and resource person, addressed at various conferences, symposiums, seminars, colloquiums, and workshops as a chief guest, guest of honor, keynote speaker, and guest speaker. She prepared and published syllabus oriented materials in various journals like Poetry Literature, Comparative Literature, Literature and Translation for educationally backward students. Her research areas are poetry, drama, fiction, comparative literature, and language and literature and translation. She presented 48 research papers in various international and national conferences and organized many workshops and conferences and also attended 4 workshops. She published 49 research articles in the Scopus Index, reputed international and national journals, and 4 articles are going to publish in the journals of BGBS University, Jammu and Kashmir, and Lord and Newber publications. She got many certifications from international and national universities such as World Literature from NPTEL IIT Madras, Translation from Cardiff University London, Basic English Part 1 and Part 2 from King's College London, Digital Skills Grow Your Career from Accenture Ireland, Literature in the Digital Age from Close Reading to Distant Reading from Basel University Switzerland. And she also got many certifications like Research Ethics Working with People, collaborative working in a remote team, how to teach online, providing continuity for students, communication and interpersonal skills at work, presenting your work with impact from University of Leeds and Institute of Coding London. In this pandemic situation, she conducted 26 national level webinars, e-conferences, FDPs, and e-quiz. Besides, she penned down many articles on social concerns published in the Deccan Chronicle and on the Internet's article base. She is honored with many esteemed awards, such as obtained Silver Medal in the Short Fiction in Indian Literature from IIT Madras and Best Educator Award for her educational service to the economically weaker sections, and also Best Teacher Award and Women's Day Award. So, hearty welcome, ma'am. We are eager to listen your knowledgeable words. We welcome you, ma'am. Over to you.
Hello, dear Vani.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your exhaustive introduction, which I don't think I really deserve it. Thank you so much. And to kickstart our program on the day 2 and session 4, let me very formally come before you, spell out my heartfelt greetings of the day to the management, principal, convener, organizing secretary, coordinator, the Department of Science and Humanities, and all the participants that have gathered this noon session. A hearty welcome to the session. I'm really elated to be with you here, and let me first congratulate ISP Engineering College at Tirupati for very successfully coming into the third phase, which is going to get completed by the weekend. A very hearty congratulations. Really, you have added so many feathers to your caps of success by taking up this AICTE program. Once again, a hearty congratulations. And then, one more formality remains. It may be a formality, but it comes from the bottom of my heart. Let me profusely thank the management principal, Dr. Kalpadatta Reddy, convener, Dr. Sunitha Reddy, organizing secretary, coordinator, Dr. Vani Sri, and the Department of Science and Humanities for giving me yet another slot in phase 3 to share with you my ideas of the 4th session of the second day. Thank you very much. And I wish you all the very best in all the future endeavors that you are going to take up. Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now, so now coming to the theme, the topic theme of the third page, life skills at workplace, desirous dexterity at career concerns. A wonderful title, isn't it? Life skills. Life skills at workplace. It's not just in workspace, everywhere life skills is very important. And definitely the apt topic has been chosen, fitting the demand of the day, especially during this stressful pandemic era. And then coming to my specific topic of this session, resilient skills, a vibrant vitality. So before we go into these two things, I would just like to familiarize the program title, and then I would like to give you the schedule announcements of the structure of my talk. What I mean to say is the third slide, slide number 3. The schedule announcement, that is the sketch of my overall talk. Next slide, please. Just before going into the details of our topic, before we go into that, I would just like to show the flow as to how we are going to proceed from the beginning to the end. So first I'd like to talk about an introduction into the skills of it, and then come to life skills, and then proceed to resilience skills, the topic specific, and components of resilience. How do we connect resilience to work skills meaningfully? Normally we connect many things to many things, but only when we do it meaningfully, its the ultimate purpose can be served. And finally, the practical usage, how to develop resilience and build up rapport with resilience. So these are the 6 subtopics that I have incorporated into my session this noon time. And I hope I can definitely make it interesting and also practicable in this season. Now coming to, after the schedule announcement of the structure of the talk, let us go into the intro. Can you switch over to the next slide, please? So in the introduction, let us see what are skills. Of course, it's a very big thing. I don't think everyone will be in a position to read it out and all, but just what I have categorized here. So what are skills? We keep listening to this word skills time and again, many times, either out of context or within the context. Skills. So what are skills actually? Let us kickstart our program with the basic things, because once we have a strong rudimentary think about it, I want to go deeper into that. So skills, we know it's an ability, and at a higher level it's an expertise, or it is the dexterity or prowess of competence. So when we think of it, skills are the tasks that you naturally do well. We hear about many synonymous words, though when we narrow down, the meaning may be different. But definitely, when we talk of skills, they are the tasks that we naturally do well. They are the talents and strengths that you bring to the table as a person, as a student, or as an employee. So, in all the 3 areas of our life, at the human level, at the professional level, and at our learning level, definitely we come to know what our skills are. The skills may vary because they have a wide range of skills. So what are the types of skills that we generally have? Generally, when we talk of skills, we see there are some natural capabilities that we always had right from birth. So these include the natural capabilities you have always had, and they call this natural skills. And in addition to that, we have specific knowledge and skills that we acquire through our experience, training, and juxtaposure with others. So when we see these things, basically speaking, we have 2 types of skills. One is the natural capability, and the other is the knowledge skill. So when we say it's the knowledge skill, generally it is the knowledge-based learning. So when we talk of this, knowledge-based skills, they're also called as specialist skills. And this is the knowledge that we have of specific subjects, whatever the subject may be, of the specific procedures and the information necessary to perform particular tasks, groups of tasks. Physical or technical skills like the ability to make things, and in the present day, the computer skills, the digital skills, the communication skills, the managerial ability. Because in a workplace, definitely we need to have the managerial ability. So these are all the knowledge based skills. When we speak of skills, the natural skills are at the rudimentary level, and when we go into the speciality of it, we get the knowledge based learning. So, gaining knowledge and putting it into practice is fundamental to learning. Yes, because gaining the knowledge and putting it into practice
Excuse
or
me, ma'am.
applying it. Amma?
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt you. Could you please just track your laptop? Your face is not that fully visible.
Okay. Is it okay now?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Sorry. It's nice. Thank
Okay.
you. Sorry for the
Thank
disturbance.
you, Amma. By all means, you're most welcome. So, when we gain knowledge of one particular area and then put it into practice, that is fundamental to learning. That is the most effective way to learn. And that is how we build upon what we already know. So what we already know can't stay like that. And we need to build upon it by applying the learning to our application, by gaining knowledge and putting it into practice. Traditionally, education in the past, of course, even today to some extent, we traditionally take education has followed the path to greater knowledge. But with the coming of ages, with advances in technical and information explosion in every field, every area, many skill gaps emerge. To fit into the group, you must find new ways to address them. Always there is a scope for finding out the new ways. As an old adage says, necessity is the mother of invention. So we have new ways to address them depending upon the demands of the day. Most educators today advocate for greater balance between knowledge and skill based learning. But to teach effectively, it's essential to understand the differences between these two methods. It's also important to know how to implement them. That is very important. How to implement them either in the context of being a facilitator in colleges or universities or as a corporate employee in the sector. So, wherever we are. But here, as I feel, the majority of the participants are from teaching faculty. I wish to show this small video. Madam Vani, can you please play the video? Video 1.
Okay.
Video 1. First 5 minutes and last, Amma.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me ask a question. Show of hands. How many people hate going to meetings? A few honest souls out there? Yes. Okay. Oh yeah, a little feedback there. So it's rather amazing how much these things that are part of our culture are a distraction. They're considered a waste of time. I mean, think about it. Public hearings. You have experts up in front sort of showering statistics at folks, and people are in the audience skeptical. They can't wait to get up to the microphone, and they attack back. And then there's elected officials who are kind of cowering in the middle. It's like, and they're watching the clock saying, oh, 10 more minutes, we're out of here. I mean, think about town meetings. I come from a town that has a town meeting tradition 300 years, and I love it. But honestly, every spring, every character in town, and believe me, there are lots of them, they all come forward because they know they get, for every issue, they get their 4 minutes at the mic. I remember when I was a child, and it's like, on and on. And business dislikes meetings more, it's just intense. So they gave us this. A camel is a horse designed by a committee. You've heard that. And what does that tell us? It tells us that meetings bring out the worst in us. It also tells us that a collective group is less intelligent than a single individual. Here's another one you've heard. Meetings are like herding cats. What that tells us is that we're essentially ungovernable as individuals, and that we resist any type of collective organization. So I find this actually profoundly sad, because there are many of us who spend our lifetimes in meetings. And we're really afraid something awful is going to happen. And let me break it down for you. I think there's two main fears. We have a fear that we're not going to be asked to feel very much at all. We're asked to feel too little. And boredom really is, in a meeting, it's hostility without enthusiasm, right? And you see that here. And so we're afraid of feeling too little, but we're also afraid of being asked to feel too much. And that's the group hug. Don't make us do a group hug. Don't make us sing Kumbaya. And most of all, under no circumstances, don't do anything touchy-feely. Now, that's a really interesting word, isn't it? Touchy-feely. It means I don't want to be touched by anything that's going on around me. I don't want to feel for anyone or anything. It's actually a great credo for a robot, but people say it all the time. Now, we've pretty much established that meetings are horrible, they're to be avoided, they're a waste of time, they're a source of boredom or awkward, we're afraid of them. Guess what I do for a living? Yeah, I facilitate great big meetings. And I have full-time for years, for decades actually. And it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it, right? So the core of facilitate is the word facile, which means to make easy. So it is my job to make it easy for meeting participants to accomplish their desired outcomes. When you think about it, it would be an easy job if it weren't for the people, right? So take this example. I was asked by the president to convene this vision forum here at Hampshire last winter to help the whole community set goals for its future. And the condition was everybody's got to be able to come. 2,000 people could have come. We ended up having 600 at over 4 sessions over 2 days. But here's the rub. This community is known for being fiercely independent, very process savvy, very process sensitive. In fact, engagement is really a college sport here. So let's see what happened. And if you look really closely, you'll see people smiling. I know, after all we said about meetings, right? So afterwards, the president said to me, incredibly, notice the shock, quote, incredibly, we heard nothing but praise and appreciation for this event. It set a gold standard in Hampshire for inspiration and inclusion. The community wants to use this process to address other complex issues. Actually, I go around the world facilitating meetings. I often have people come up to me afterwards and they say, you know, that was really fantastic. We've never experienced this before. Well, I like the acknowledgement as much as anyone, but inside I'm saying, you know, we know how to do this. We've been doing this for years. This should not be a surprise. And that's why I'm giving this talk, is I want to help change the way the world meets, do with us, like an architect. And when I design an agenda to help an individual see the world, participants see what we call And it isn't really. So the art of facilitation is to design meetings that bring out the best in us. So let's take this meeting again. When you look at this picture, what do you see? For me, as a consultant or a facilitator, I see what we call the whole system. It means for a college that we have students, of course, and alumni. We have faculty and staff. We have adjunct faculty and administrators. We can also have people come in from the outside. We can have parents. We can have people who provide us with students. We have the people who hire the students. We have community partners. You get the whole system in the room. You aim for maximum diversity to get the best ideas. And then we double down. At every table, we design that for maximum diversity as well. We call it a microcosm of the macrocosm, or max mix. An amazing thing happens. We designed the whole room for diversity. We designed every table for diversity. And then as people start to report, they start saying some of the same thing. And I know from my experience that the first thing people do when they start repeating what other folks have said is they apologize. They say, I'm so sorry, I'm repeating what the other table said. And I interrupt them and I say, no, don't apologize. This is the sound of common ground being discovered. That's what it sounds like. Now, when you invite a large group together like this, it brings up one of the axioms from my field, which is that people support what they help create. So when you get everyone, the whole system, creating something new, and people are there at that inception, they support it. I did one of these at a college, and after it, the development person came up to me and said, you just saved me a year of my job. Now, when I call people, instead of them saying, who are you? They're going to say, how can I help? Now, we talked before about the smiling that goes on. Now, why are people smiling in meetings, which we know can be so dreadful? Well, the first thing we do is we work hard to make it safe. We have ground rules. We say one person speaks at a time, so we're not talking over each other. It's a sign of respect. We say speak up, yet speak briefly. We want the folks who are quiet to be encouraged to stretch, to speak up more. We want the people who tend to speak a lot to stretch and listen more. We also engage leadership. We ask people to take on roles at the tables, a facilitator to keep the group on task and make sure everyone who wants to be heard gets heard, a recorder to write down the words of people as in their own words, a reporter who stands up and shares with the group, and a timekeeper who tells us how much time we have left. Now, we also have to animate and allow the natural spirit to emerge, but we can't do it in that way that activates that fight or flight response we talked about earlier. So we do it in a way that's universally loved and easy to accept. We have people tell stories. People love to tell stories. They love to hear them. But we ask for a particular kind of story, a story about a high point in your experience of this organization, when you felt most engaged, most committed, most alive, most proud to be part of this organization. And as you share those stories, creating an energetic bonfire in the room that starts burning brighter and brighter. Now remember, we've designed this room for maximum diversity, and our job is to find common ground. We don't resolve all the conflict that's in the room, so we just go for the common ground. How do we do that? Well, interestingly, we use a technique that was invented by a Japanese anthropologist working in the hills of Nepal. And he had so much data, and he ended up not being able to see the patterns, so he wrote it down on cards and started playing with it. So this is called an affinity diagram. And in a meeting, how we adapt it is, first we'll have two people share their own sense of hopes and dreams and aspirations. We do that very privately because it's very intimate. And then that gets shared with the table. And we start looking at the patterns as they start to emerge, and it's kind of magical. And then the table says, here's 3 or 4 themes, and they put them forward as posters, and we start doing the whole process again on the wall. And it's like watching a beautiful photograph come out of a chemical bath, and it's magical and mystical, and nobody's in charge, and it's common ground revealing itself in front of us. It's very moving. Something else that's very moving is the sound of human conversation as people share their highest dreams and hopes and aspirations. Just listen to these voices from the
Improve
Hampshire
faculty
Forum.
and staff to student ratio.
Lower faculty
and staff to student ratio. Community space.
Campus accessibility,
Community
foresight.
space for students,
Community
faculty.
design, space for community center, additional
Creating
student
and
visitation.
rejuvenating physical spaces. Developing community centers.
Social and virtual community
existing
space,
spaces on
while
campus
also
to
making
support
progress.
ongoing and new community activities and academic programs.
Sustainability, grow endowment,
We want to increase the
reduce
amount
administrative
of
burden.
stability financially.
Need blind admissions for a diverse
More robust financial aid
Funding for
program.
institutional innovation.
More money.
Better and more secure financial plan linked to articulated.
Develop a strong economic
there.
footing and model.
Clarify Hampshire's brand. More compelling differentiation.
So this is the sound of the human spirit made manifest in conversation with the graceful assistance of facilitation. Thank you.
So welcome back. And so this is a video actually of the Hampshire University and the USA, where the importance of facilitator. We are no more just going and giving a passive talk. So it's a teamwork everywhere. So in this teamwork, mainly the what I can say, the issue before us is the teamwork and how well we can facilitate the group. So as the facilitator here, the resource person tells about how he talks. So as we talk, it's the gestural skills that is needed. And then after that, the way by using all the skills that we try to rope in each and every member of the team. What all the natural abilities and also the knowledge-based abilities that they have are roped in order to get the best output. So as he says, very gradually, he comes to the end. And by the time we see the end, each and every person is able to express his or her own ideas. So this is how we need to work out in the team. And as we all know that the title of our topic is, it's the life skills, let me read it. Resilience skills, and then yes, life skills at workplace. So how are we going to bring about the life skills at workplace? Just if each of us is a facilitator, I'm sure that every person in the team can bring out the life skills, the knowledge-based skills, and give the best possible output. And this video only shows in practice how well we can bring out the outcome. So this is just a small video, of course, and the best approach for each and every team member at the workplace is help for the best output of the team. So how can I help? That is what the facilitator tells in this video. And by the end of it, the facilitator or the resource person was successful in bringing out a rope to fifth slide, please. So when we see this, we see let us go into into further detail about knowledge-based skills, because natural abilities, each one of us has got a specific natural ability, and that has to be honed up. In order to hone this up, definitely we need to have a natural knowledge-based skill. So this knowledge-based learning versus skill-based learning, what it is all about. Now I just put some slides over here, just posters, but to give an overall picture of what knowledge-based skills are. And coming to the part of it, core of it, knowledge is the theoretical understanding of something which is acquired through lectures and textbooks. So I think I will not be mistaken when I say a knowledge-based skill is purely theoretical understanding. Knowledge-based learning, therefore, refers to reading, listening, and watching to obtain the information that is needed before progressing to the next stage of learning. So, these other skills are knowledge-based skills. So, skills can be acquired mainly by doing, by involving ourselves. So, skills can be acquired by doing And the best way to master something is through regular practice or trial and error. Any skill doesn't come on its own. It has to be practiced and then be it a trial and error. We understand what to do and what not to do. So skills can be acquired by doing. There is no shortcut method. It has to be acquired by doing. And skill-based learning aims to build upon knowledge by developing practical expertise in a particular area. So when we say knowledge-based skill is purely theoretical understanding, just go a step ahead and then it is the skill-based learning that gives a developing of or development of practical expertise in that area. The first part is the theoretical expertise and based upon it is the practical expertise in that particular area. As an example, I would like to give the example of a carpenter here. A carpenter. Generally, a carpenter requires the background knowledge of how to measure and read blueprints before starting any project. We all know that. We may not be carpenters, but we know before starting any project, you would first see the background knowledge of how to measure and then understand, or I can say interpret the blueprints. But this can help with a range of projects, but it's not enough on its own, right? A carpenter also needs to develop skills to carry out specific tasks such as crafting a kitchen cabinet, let us say, or making a coffee table. So whatever it is, definitely this pure theoretical background of understanding the blueprint can never suffice the carpenter's work to be successful. He definitely has to develop his skills to carry out the specific tasks. So while interpreting the blueprints is the theoretical understanding, then carry out the expertise in that particular area. So, as we can see from this example, having knowledge about something doesn't make you skilled in it. Likewise, being skilled at something doesn't mean you have all the required knowledge to excel at it. So, it is a wonderful combination of both the theoretical understanding and also the practical doing of it or the practical application of it. So, the carpentry example, I feel, offers a very clear distinction between these two learning methods. When it comes to early childhood teaching, let us say, such as in primary skills, skill-based learning aims to build upon the knowledge a student has gained in the classroom. This combination of knowledge-based and skill-based learning will help transform the learners into independent thinkers and prepare them for challenges they may face in the future. This is the basic backdrop with which we need to have to further enter into the topic of the day. And that's the reason why I have stressed upon the knowledge-based learning versus skill-based learning. Because learning is, right from the beginning, it is a process from child to human. Child to individual. Wait, I'm afraid I didn't yet round it off. Some more addenda I have. At workplace, why is skills-based learning important? Doesn't it suffice if we just deliver the work in a prototype as our predecessors did? Because our predecessors were just giving a prototype. My seniors gave me, and today I am delivering the same. And to my seniors from their seniors. So this is how we generally take the prototype work. And why is skill-based learning today important? Is not the earlier traditional learning enough? This is a big question. So, let us see. As I understand, most of us are in the field of targeting to train the future technocrats, whatever the technocrat field is, to get anchored into the diverse aspects. I wish to pinpoint to their framework, and I think that is needed. That is the need of the day. So skill-based education is essential for few reasons. Let me just outline them. The first thing is skill-based education always promotes greater independence. Students who learn through skills-based instructions are more likely to think at a higher level and solve problems on their own. This is important as they're being introduced to new ideas and concepts every day. At this age, they're mentally mature enough because they're going to be the future technocrats, right? So they're mentally mature enough to make connections between what they have been told and what they have experienced. So it promotes greater independence. And secondly, a skill-based education in the field of targeting increases learning speed. They learn much faster when there are multiple ways for them to absorb information. Yes, multiple ways are there for them to absorb information. These days, with the technological explosion, multiple ways of information. The only thing is a sagacity to filter out what is proper information. And then, using a skill-based approach, we can further develop what they already know and help them grasp concepts quicker, narrowing down the way. And thirdly, it provides real world experience. This is which is very important. A real world experience, not a mere theoretical world.
Hello, Pratima ma'am. Hello. Hello, Pratima madam.
Sorry, there was
Hello,
a
Pratima
technical
ma'am.
lag here. Yes, ma, there was a technical lag. Can I?
Yeah.
Yes.
Could you please say that from what slide I have to keep? 1 second. 1 second, madam.
Yes.
Is it from this slide? Knowledge-based skills?
Yes, ma. It's knowledge-based skills, and even the prior video also can. The prior slide. No. Earlier slide, ma.
Okay.
Slide 5 and 6. Yes. This is it. Okay, and then you can switch over to this and the next. No problem. So, when we talk about the skills, the first thing is it promotes greater independence. Secondly, it increases learning speed. And thirdly, it provides real world experience. Because by inculcating skills that engage the reality, that future technocrats or the future students can experience and build upon to catch on a lot faster. Although the importance of a skill-based curriculum cannot be understated, definitely we cannot understate it, but knowledge is still a crucial foundation for students to be able to apply their skill and understand the broader reasoning behind what they're learning and why. Because it's just a skill can never make them successful, and just a theoretical knowledge can never make them successful. A strong balance between the knowledge they have earned and the skill they are developing upon ultimately pays the dividends. So, this is how, and next slide please. So this is how a skill-based learning promotes a better atmosphere in the workplace with the life skills. And now coming to the schedule 2, 7th slide please. Let us see what are life skills in specific. So life skills in specific, in the sense here I am trying to narrow down only to the workplace, because life skills are many. But I want to narrow down because we have a paucity of time. So life skills is a term that's used to describe a set of basic skills. They are acquired through learning and direct life experience that enables individuals and groups to effectively handle issues and problems commonly encountered in our daily life. Generally, we encounter many problems in our daily life and how to cope up with them. That is one of the basic life skills that we came across. So the term life skills refers to the skills that you need to make the most of your life. Just as a child learns to walk, nobody teaches them to balance, isn't it? They learn it step by step, falling and tumbling, and finally successfully balance. But this is an important life skill only to a kid. For people like you or me, it's rated lower or we don't even take it into cognizance. So, after all said and done, we need to define the life skills we need depending on the thrust area we are in. So life skill is not the basic skill that a child learns now. Now what I want to talk about is the thrust area, the life skill that is needed by each one of us in our thrust area we are in. Because they keep shifting the focus. The range extends. For a homemaker, her life skill may be ably handling the kitchenette, raising her kids, proper domestic behavior for a hectic employee, for a proper domestic behavior for a homemaker. But for a hectic employee like us, like you or me, it may be time management. That is our life skill at workplace. So any skill that is useful in your life can be considered a life skill. Trying your shoelaces, tying a tie, knotting a tie, swimming, driving a car, and using the computer or mobile apps are for most of the people useful life skills. Broadly speaking, the term life skill is usually used for any of the skills needed to deal well and effectively with the challenges of life. So, what are life skills at workplace in specific is my next. The first life skill is communication. Everyone needs to communicate properly to avoid many things, to clarify many things. So, depending on the job, communication means being clear about what you mean and what you want to achieve when you talk or write. It involves listening and being able to understand where someone else is coming from. Communication skills also include non-verbal communication, the gestural skills such as the body language you use. Examples of ways that you can develop or improve your communication skills include, just now we have seen the facilitator, he was not just delivering the subject. Even through the gestural ways, he has communicated a lot to us. He has created that vibrant vitality that the SVEC has titled, right? So, examples of ways that we can develop or improve our communication skills, they include, first thing is writing assignments and reports as part of our studies, blogging or using social media, right? That is one way of communicating digitally. Making oral presentations as part of our classwork, working in customer service, maybe face to face or on the phone, getting involved in a local club, being aware of how you hold your body. That is all the more so important because once we hold our body with a tense mood, automatically the voluminous output cannot have its 10%. So these are all the various ways in which we can communicate without any lag. The second thing is very importantly, teamwork. Teamwork is one of the life skills that we need in the workplaces. Teamwork means, what is teamwork? It's being able to get along with the people you work with. It involves working together to achieve a shared goal. Getting along with people doesn't need that we need to synchronize at each and every level. Getting along with the people is you have an empathy at what the other person is saying. You need not live in him or her. Try to grasp. And that is what getting along with the people. Try to understand. Come to a common consensus. So some examples of the ways that we can develop a teamwork. These days, teamwork has become a buzzword in the modern society. Wherever your workplace is, there is a teamwork. But how far are we successful in our teamwork? Don't we get many a time so many misunderstandings, so many miscommunications, so many misinterpretations? Yes, of that there can be no doubt. But I think if we just try to narrow down certain things that we need to follow for the teamwork, I feel doing group assignments as part of your studies can try to create a rapport. Volunteering for a community organization, it need not be at the workplace, just an informal community organization, volunteering for it. And then thinking about how you can work better with other people at your workplace. So when we create a groove in our mind, thinking about these things, joining a sporting team, because sporting team, after all, doesn't have any tensions, right? And then organizing with friends, that is the best way. Or a family, to have a neighborhood working bee. So these are very, very simple steps that we can accommodate into our life in order to make a perfect team at least. Though not a perfect team, at least a successful team. And then the third life skill that I want to talk about is, so when we start at community or within the family and friends, automatically it can be extended. The same can be applied to our workplace. And then the problem solving. So when we talk about the problem solving,
Hello, Pratima ma'am. Hello.
yes, ma, someone has muted it, ma.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall I continue? Yes. And sorry for all these. I think they are the technical interruptions. So after the teamwork, it's the problem solving, and problem solving is finding solutions when you are faced with difficulties or setbacks. So a setback. When we have a setback, bouncing back. That is what resilience is all about, isn't it? So resilience is a skill that we definitely need to have in problem solving issue. So it involves being able to use a logical process to figure things out. And some examples of ways you can develop or improve your problem solving skills is by doing some research assignments as part of your studies, dealing with complaints at your workplace. Yes, of course, we need not complicate it, but at least we can try doing it in a positive with a positive approach. Doing a study skills course that looks at problem solving, talking to other people about how they solve the problem, and gaining their experience, we can try if we can apply something further. So this is how we can polish out, and the problems they faced we can understand. And fixing broken things around the house, that's normally we keep doing, isn't it? By looking up YouTube to find out how to do it. And then we have the initiative and enterprise. This is a leadership quality. So, how are you taking the initiative? How are you going to take the enterprise? Initiative and enterprise means looking for things that need to be done and doing them without being asked. People need not remind this. We need not ask. Taking initiative is an independent step that comes out of the leadership skill. It's a life skill. So this involves thinking creatively to make improvements to the way things are done. And I think there are some examples of ways that we can develop or improve our initiative and enterprise skills. And I would like to include just 4 points here. First thing is we can approach organizations and businesses about work placements or internships for our trainers, setting up a fundraiser in a community, making or proposing changes to the way a group you belong to does things, and the way, the initiative and enterprise that SVEC coordinator has been taking along with a team, wonderful initiative and enterprise. I take this an opportunity to congratulate once again. And then doing things around the house without being asked. People need not ask, we just go and do it. And then family and organizing is also a life skill at workplace. So what is planning and what is organizing? It means working out what you need to do and how you do it. Planning and organizing involve things like developing project timelines, meeting deadlines. These are all very common for us. The only thing is we don't use the word planning and organizing. All the day the teamwork employees, we keep organizing and getting involved in things like developing project timelines, planning them, organizing them, and meeting the deadlines. It's always such a hectic work. So, some examples how we can develop or improve our planning and organization skills, they include developing a steady timetable and sticking to it, traveling by ourselves, overseas and interstate, managing our time around work. This is very important. Study and family commitments, a proper balance between all the three: work, study, and family commitments. Even if one takes precedence over the other, then the life gets tensed. That is what planning and organizing is all about. In the workplace, let there be a proper balance of what we are doing. And then helping to organize a community event, organizing a family get together. These are all the teamwork aspects that we come across. And then self management. Self management includes being able to do your job without someone having to check upon you all the time. Independent. Staying on top of your own deadlines. Delegating tasks to other people to make sure things get done on time. Because delegating tasks to other people is the teamwork. If each of us is very clear about what we are doing and define what others are doing, automatically the teamwork falls into focus. So, some examples that we can develop is very simple thing, keeping your room tidy. That is self management. Joining a volunteer organization, developing a steady schedule and sticking to it, asking for new responsibilities at work. Normally, we shirk from it, right? Doing a work experience placement or internship. So, this is how we can develop our self management. And only when we are self managed can the team management be possible for us. And then learning. One may wonder, as we are teaching or as we are facilitating, is there a need for us to learn? I am a learned person. No. Sorry to say no, because we all know that we are learners and we have been learning. So learning is about wanting to understand new things. And today we are on Zoom platform because we have learned it recently with the pandemic. So learning is about wanting to understand new things and picking them up quickly. It also involves taking on new tasks and being able to adapt to change. Some ways that we can develop or improve our learning even now is doing a short course or online course, researching skills and courses we would like to do. And these days, with the MOOCs courses all over, it has become very easy to join the groups and learn. Starting a new hobby, joining a sporting or volunteer group, teaching ourselves a new skill like making the perfect omelette. So this is how we can learn certain things. Very simple start. And then ultimately, it is the technology that has become a life skill in the present demands of the day at the teamwork, at workplaces. So technological skills means being able to use a computer for word processing, using spreadsheets and sending an email, or knowing how to use office equipment like a photocopier. These are all the basic technical skills. Of course, the digital knowledge is added to that. And they involve using social media, like how we are using now, how we are exploiting it, how we are manipulating it for our use, and working with design or video editing software, or knowing programming languages. All these are the technical skills. Other technology skills relate to hardware, which we are not much aware of, like knowing how to use certain hardware programs, a cash register, a camera, a recording studio, etc. Examples of ways to develop and improve our technology skills. This is important, I believe. Some examples are do a short course or online course, asking for extra training at work, finding out what technology is used in the job you want and how it's used, making a list of all the technology we are already using in our day-to-day life. So this is how we can learn, and ultimately we can highlight the skills as a perfect team worker in the workplace. Now that we have identified the employability skills, we have there are ways in which we can work out and improve it. It's also true that different life skills will be more or less relevant at different times of our life, isn't it? With different life skills. At school or university, we need to study skill. When buying a house, you may need to employ negotiation skills, and you'll certainly need plenty of patience and good temper also here. And then you need to work on your employability skills to get a job. And when you start a family, you'll need parenting skills. These are all the elementary life skills at the formative stage. But here, when we are categorizing the life skills, I want to show at workplace the World Health Organization, the organization in the present day has categorized the life skills that are more important for us, fitting the present day global demands. So these are the basic skills that World Health Organization has globally charted out. The first is the communication and interpersonal skill. It's a life skill. Decision making and problem solving skill, creative thinking and critical thinking, self awareness and empathy, assertiveness and equanimity, resilience and ability to cope with problems. So these are all the workplace skills that we need. And as we see, all the skills are very exhaustively, thoroughly included in this STTP programs. Of course, mine is the last part with resilience. But before we go into that, of course, we have at length discussed the life skills. And let's now spotlight on the thematic concern, life skills at workplace. At workplace, the work culture is different. Approach and atmosphere differs from university to university, college to college, region to region, and place to place. All the more so if it's a corporate world, much diversity, isn't that? Despite these parameters, there are many issues in common that the faculty or the staff faces in common, irrespective of where you are located. Meeting the deadlines, whether you're just starting or have taught to the kids, teachers everywhere in the world are faced with similar challenges. The obstacles you encounter can arise from many quarters, with students, with parents, with colleagues, with administrators, or with many roles and responsibilities you have to maintain. Because while teaching might be a joy, that doesn't mean it's not a headache. We all know that. Certain skills may be more or less relevant to you depending on your life circumstances, your culture, your beliefs, your age, your geographic location, etc. However, in 1999, as I have already mentioned, the World Health Organization has identified these 6 key areas of life skills. So, in order that our teamwork in the workplaces progress, and that we have a proper peace of mind in the profession, definitely we need to attend upon these life skills at workplace. The communication, I would like to reiterate, communication and interpersonal skills, decision making and problem solving skills, creative thinking and critical thinking skills, self awareness and empathy, assertiveness and equanimity, that is self control, resilience and ability to cope with the problems. So these are the things that we definitely need. One without the other cannot make us a successful team worker. However, perhaps the most important life skill is the ability and willingness to learn. That is very important. The ability and willingness to learn. Most people are still learning with a formal education, but learning can and should be a lifelong process. It enhances our understanding of the world and it improves the quality of our life. By learning new skills, we increase our understanding of the world around us and equip ourselves with the tools we need to live a more productive and fulfilling life, finding ways to cope with the challenges of life. We all are personally experiencing the challenges of life like never before now. So it inevitably throws at us, especially in our workplace. So, 8th slide, please. 8th slide, please. Categorize skills.
Is it okay, ma'am?
Slide 9. Slide 8. Yes, ma'am. Resilience. So, I wish to narrow down to that
Is
skill
it, ma'am?
called.
Is it the?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, Madam Vani. Thank you. So, now I want to narrowing down to the topic. So, I wish to narrow down to that skill called resilience and ability to cope with problems, the slated topic of the session. Of course, you may have a question. What all this 1 hour or 1.5 hour of talk, is it not the narrowing down? Definitely, it all paves way to focus upon the resilience, the ability to cope with the problems, the present topic of the session. So it describes the ability to recover from setbacks and treat them as opportunities to learn or simply experiences. I personally feel that this is the most opportune moment to delve deeper into the topic. Here, I would like to quote Dr. Ginsberg. He is a child pediatrician and human development expert. He proposes that there are 7 integral and interrelated components that make up being resilient. The 7 components of resilience, the 7 C's he calls them. First is the competence, second is the confidence, third, connection, fourth, character, fifth, contribution, sixth, coping, and finally, control. The 7 C's they are. So let us discuss each of these 7 C's to equip a resilience group. In order that we create or we develop resilience within us, we need to take into all the 7 C's. I crafted very carefully that our session includes the core content and group processes that will enhance each and every one of the 7 C's. Namely, let me repeat: competence, confidence, connection, character, contribution, coping, and control. So, what is competence? Competence is the ability to know how to handle stressful situations effectively. Stressful situations. How effectively are we able to cope up with such situations? Is it a bounce back? It requires having skills to face challenges and having had the opportunity to practice using these skills so that one feels competent in dealing with a situation. The best example: during the outbreak of both COVID in this academic year and the government initiative to start online delivery of the subject, frankly speaking, not all the staff was aware of what a social platform is, how to use it for a regular delivery of the subject, etc. But thumbs up for all the teaching faculty, right from high school through university, immediately honed up themselves honed up ourselves, our digital skills in our own self-inventive way, either requesting others, borrowing skills, learning, and finally we ended up with a verb. Is it not the best competence that we, the teaching faculty, did? Definitely yes, an emphatic yes. This is how our peer groups offer stress reduction and social skills training. By learning these skills in a group of similar aged peers, provide the opportunity for our students, a trainee, apprentice, to practice these skills and enhance their competence. The second quality is confidence. This is the belief in one's own abilities and it's rooted in competence. Once we have the competence, automatically there is a scope for us to rise with confidence. When we see children, they gain confidence by being able to demonstrate their competence in real situations. Our groups enhance self-confidence by identifying each individual's strengths, and when we notice for the strength, watch our trainees soar high and be self-motivated to overcome their challenge, automatically we appreciate them and this creates a confidence in them. Connection. Generally, when we have close ties with friends, family, and community groups, it's likely, there is always a likelihood to have a stronger sense of security and sense of belonging. And that is the reason why a connection is needed for a teamwork. A connection is needed for the workplace challenges. So, a sense of security, a sense of strength, and a sense of belonging. All the three are bonded together when we get connected with the people of the team. The team may be a primary team, the team may be a secondary team, or the team may be a tertiary team. That is a permanent team, like a family, secondary team, like the workplace, a tertiary team, like a team that joins together for a purpose and then gets dissolved. So, whatever the team is, the first thing is connection, getting connected. It's only when we are connected with a team, then the sense of belonging takes us to a greater new height. So, when we see this, we are likely to have strong values. We are less likely to seek out alternative destructive behavior in any team building. In our groups, we foster a sense of belonging, and especially we, we in our gregarious life, we always foster a sense of belonging, and we discuss ways with our peer group and strengthen their ties by being a good friend, a caring family member, or an important community member. And then the character. Character has been given more and more importance, and of course, I don't want to talk much about the character, but the character that is specifically needed for a team member. So, when we talk about character, it enjoys a sense of self worth and confidence. They are in touch with the values and are comfortable sticking to them. We can demonstrate and make wise choices and contribute to the society through our team. Our groups aim to strengthen character through enhancing self esteem with our strength based work and by teaching skills of empathy and caring for others. In our youth group, the teenagers are empowered to recognize that they have the ability to make choices and that they can make wise choices towards the values rather than away from the values. And then the contribution. If children can experience personally contributing to the world, they can learn whenever I'm mentioning the word children, it always means the trainees that are placed in our hand for whom the teamwork is going on. So when we see the scholars who experience their personal contribution to the world in the way of their work, we can learn the powerful lesson that the world is a better place because they are in it. Hearing the thank you, a please, an appreciation, a contribution, all these increase the participants' willingness to take actions and make choices that improve the world, thereby enhancing their own competence, character, and sense of connection. In our groups, there will be time for us to explore how we can contribute and matter in this world. World in the sense, our own workplace is our world. So in our groups, there is so much of time for us to contribute and matter ourselves. That shows a sense of responsibility. And in our parent group session, we give a lot of ideas and projects that families may be able to do together in order to experience the power of contributing. Just walk a step extra, walk a mile extra, that can be extended to our teamwork at workplaces. And finally, coping. There is a wide repertoire of coping skills, the social skills, the stress reduction, very, very important in the present day global society. So, social skills, be it stress reduction skills, these are able to cope more effectively and are better prepared to overcome life challenges. Definitely, we need to accept it. And then our resilience groups teach both stress reduction skill and also social skills for coping with everyday life stresses. Resilience, what is it? When we talk of resilience, I have a 5-minute video, and of course, in just a moment of time, we can have it. But I would like to cut short with a seventh point, that is control, the seventh C of resilience component. No, please, earlier one. This is the last slide. Okay, thank you. So when we see the control, the team members, they realize that they have control over their decisions and actions. Once the team is prepared well with a good planning and organization, we realize that we have control over our decisions with our competence, with our whatever it is, with all the seven C's. And then we are more likely to know how to make choices in a way that they can bounce back from life's challenges. Today we met it successfully. The life challenges, bouncing back. There was a setback. There was a setback in the society. There was a setback in the world due to the pandemic, but we knew how to bounce back. So our groups aim to provide a sense that we have choices and how we wish to think and act, and that we can determine results based on these choices. It's almost like, though it may sound a little bit negative, do or die. To go forward with the present day world, a strong resilience is needed. So mental resilience, when we talk of mental resilience, we have the youth resilience, that is when we impart certain education to them. The mental resilience that is needed for every person. When we involve in a team, it is the mental resilience. That is what stress reduction is. And then a psychological resilience. Psychological resilience is, how is my psychology able to cope up with the present day situation? Is it in line with the situation? If not, how do I need to balance? Because if there is any shortfall in it, if there is any drawback in it, there is always a chance that we go into
Hello, madam. Hello. Hello, ma'am. Are you there? Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Hello, Pratima, ma'am.
Can I connect?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm almost coming to the end. After that, I'm needing a few minutes. So, when we talk of this, we definitely see the social resilience. So, when we talk of the social resilience, our lives were not as they were before. So, when we talk of social resilience, definitely not everyone will be on the same front. Definitely, we are lagging behind. Some are lagging behind. Some are going
Hello, madam. I request the participants to please mute yourself, otherwise it make me to force to mute you.
Someone is muting me. Right. So, when we talk of this social resilience, there are so many aspects, like so many going forward, pacing, the different pace with which we go forward. Due to certain constraints, some people may not be in a position to social. That is a social resilience framework that we find. So we need to meet, when we talk of the resilience, it has to be mental resilience that we need to develop. It has to be a psychological resilience as we are working out, social resilience. These are all the three resilience spirits that we need to develop personally, and at the same time, we need to deliver the resilience that is needed for those who are in our hands. That is the youth resilience. We need to approach what type of resilience is needed for them at this hour. It's only when we combine all these types of resiliences that our resilience at workplace can be the best resilience. And now, how do we connect resilience to work skills? Just to tell that, I have a very small video, because resilience is something that is elastic in nature. And after seeing the video, I will just talk about it a bit for about 1 or 2 minutes. Can you please play the video?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Resilience is not a new concept, but it has become subject to renewed interest and attention. Why? Because today we live in an age of multiple challenges, and despite a sharpened focus on tackling health inequalities in recent years, the wealth gap and the deprivation associated with living in poverty remain deeply ingrained and difficult to fix. Increasingly, papers and reports refer to resilience as a key characteristic that people and places should have more of. Rather than wait for problems to strike, it is better to support people and communities so that they can handle risks and challenges. This is not only better for services, it's better for people and communities who feel more in control as a result. People can mean different things when they talk about resilience. A scientist might describe how much pressure, stress, or force a material can take before it breaks. This can lead to an understanding of resilient people as having mental toughness or inner strength. These qualities, though useful, are difficult to create in people, and this way of thinking about resilience doesn't consider the root causes of the stresses and pressures that affect people. And what about the people who have more stresses and pressures than others? Can we blame them for being less able to cope? No. Resilience is about more than what is within us. Looking into the sources of resilience confirms that it's not all about individuals. The first people to study resilience worked in child development. They wanted to understand why some children did better despite the odds being stacked against them. By looking at successful children from disadvantaged backgrounds, they found that individual children were more likely to be resilient if they had confidence in their ability to control their own lives and futures, intelligence, a capacity for problem solving, the ability to think about the consequences that their actions may have in the future. These are clearly individual qualities, and to have them is helpful. But the researchers found that resilience also depends upon how a person accesses networks of support, or how a person relates to others. This involves qualities such as empathy, sociability, expressiveness, and warmth. These relational qualities suggest that sources of resilience go beyond the individual or what is within us. Resilience can have more to do with being able to ask for help and having relationships of trust that can be relied upon in times of crisis. That is, what is between us. The source of a person's resilience is often the community that they belong to. The question then becomes, how can people be supported to have access to both the individual sources of resilience and a strong community network to draw upon? It is also important to understand the different types of resilience in order to provide people with the most effective forms of support. The first type of resilience is about getting back on your feet, maintaining the status quo after a crisis. The second type of resilience is about being able to take advantage of change, to transform, in order to be successful in your new environment. Let's think about someone who loses their job in food manufacturing. Status quo resilience, bouncing back, would concern getting back on their feet and finding a new job. Access to networks and support, such as close family and friends, is crucial to helping the individual get through the initial shock. What if a person not only loses their job, but the factory in which they work closes as that manufacturing industry disappears? This requires transformation, a change of occupation. In this situation, close family and friends remain important, but this individual will also need support from a wider network of people who know about new opportunities and how to access them. Here, a person's links with others becomes vitally important, and three types of relationships are needed. Support from those close to us, who share our values, understand our outlook, and help us through. Links to people who have different values and know about different opportunities to help us on. And links to people beyond us, in particular, those who make decisions about our community, to help us be heard. Resilience is about how individuals respond to different kinds of challenge.
ಅದು ಹತ್ತುವಲ್ರಿ
However,
ನೋಡ್ರಿಪ್ಪ
community support
ರಿಂಗ್
to
ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ
help
ಹತ್ತೈತಿ
individuals
ಬಟ್
flourish
ಎತ್ತುವಲ್ರಿ ಅವ್ರು
is
ಏನ್
important
ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು
in
ಈಗ
the face of the challenges that life presents. Resilience is about what is within us, what is between us, and what is beyond us. We can all think of examples of the supports needed to enable coping and transformation. We will also be aware of some barriers to change, which are difficult for individuals to fix alone. How do you support the resilience of people and communities?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Would you like me to go to the next one, ma'am? Next video or? Hello.
It's not, we're not in the old shape anymore. So it's a change, an elastic like change, you know. It just comes, and in the next video we can see it with animations. So when we see this resilience, successful in being resilient in skills, it's a teamwork, and how to be vital, and how to have a positive personality, how to cultivate vibrance, the vibrance, vitality, and build up rapport, that too with resilience. So these are all the issues that we need to address in this present day situation for any teamwork to go on unhampered. So were they given importance in the past, or is it only in the present? Definitely the answer is no, because resilience has emerged. It has been from the past, but it emerged as a concept of significance with a challenging work culture and environment. History teaches us that crisis situations occur far more frequently than we anticipate. In fact, Shakespeare rose to excellence during the pandemic times. That is what history says. Our work must be targeted at point blank range. It should not be alive to see another day, but it should be live actually to resist and thrive during turbulent times. In the 21st century, digitalization significantly it enhances our ability to adapt to rapid and uncertain changes. We all know what the uncertain changes are. Like never before. Since March 2020, the changes are sinisterly looming large with menacing uncertainties right in front of every one of us. Yet, there is no stopping.
Hello, madam.
Amma,
Yeah.
now I want I want the video, the last video, Amma. Can
Yeah,
you play?
sure, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, how to be vital with a positive personality, cultivate vibrance, and build up rapport with resilience. And what is actually resilience? What is that elastic nature that transforms our state? By developing resilience is what is totally represented in this video, and I'm very happy. Let's go into that. Can you please play, Madam Vani?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. 1 second.
Yes, can you please close it? Can you please? Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And here, what is, of course, I just wanted to show here that the elasticity within a person is something that creates resilience within us. So first we see we are in one particular shape, and as it depicts, it's the round shape. But as we are coping up to meet the stress of the time, there was a setback. So falling down, but with elasticity, tried to go, fall down, and ultimately raised. And then there was a transformation. We can see the circle has changed to triangle. That is a transformation from within us. We are coping with the psychological resilience, with the social resilience, with all the resiliences, different types of resiliences. And then it became an easy go for us, as we are doing today. In the beginning, getting connected was a problem for us, and all these things. If not this immediately, we can switch over to next thing. If not many can be accommodated over Zoom, immediately there is a YouTube streaming. This was not the case earlier, and now it is a very smooth go. But suddenly, this easy go, once again with some other setback, others join, of course. And as all others join, it doesn't mean all of us are with equal resilience. Again, when there is a stressful time, unable to cope, there are many who fell down. Those already reached with resilience also, there was a chance for them to fall down. And ultimately, some cope up, some can't cope up. And sure, we must be in the coping up team. Coping up team. That is resilience. Developing resilience at every stage is a compulsion in the present day situation. So when we see that, you can see at the end, the way the circle to triangle and then ultimately a completely transformed individual goes, there you can see the title once again established, the vibrant dexterity with which the individual goes forward. Those who have already reached there also, there was a scope for them to fall down. But once you develop resilience on all fronts, automatically it keeps going, going, going. So what I want to finally conclude is, resilience is not something that we develop for a day. It's in such a challenging situation, resilience is something that we need to work upon for a greater transformation from within the individual that would definitely budge out into something great blossom. That is how a resilient rapport can be maintained within every individual, not for just successful teamwork in workplaces, but in our personal conduct of life, in the social conduct of life, and in the professional conduct of life. And this is how I feel attaining resilience at one particular point of time is not just the solution. It is an ever growing process, awareness towards the problem, meeting the problem, overcoming the stress, and coping up with the problem, ultimately emerging triumphant, not successful, triumphant step to step till we reach the end. That is what I feel. But at the same time, there are many issues that come across. We need to prioritize our health, stress reduction, find support. And to find support, we need to communicate and cooperate, avoid conflicts. That is very, very important. And then to have a proper relaxation of mind, spend time with the family and a peer group, with like-minded people. Work mindfulness is more important, and ultimately we can cope up with resilience in the most triumphant manner. And this is what I wanted to present in my session. And I once again thank the SVEC, the team, the principal, coordinator, convener, and everyone. A big namaste and a big kudos for the wonderful choice of topics. Thank you so much. And if any one of you has got any of the things to share with me, I'll be very happy about it. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Before going to a query session, just I would like to say that it's really a fantastic and fascinating and terrific presentation. We are pleased to listen your presentation. The session is very informative and helpful for us, and gave awful accuracy, which help us to know how to acquire different resilient skills in problem solving, dealing with complaints at workplace, talking to people, how we can solve the problems and gain the information from them, initiation, enterprise, taking initiations, and how to ameliorate ourselves and enhance creative improvements, and the 7 components of resilience in all formal and informal situations. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
It's my honor. Thank you so much.
And I request the participants, like, you can go with the query session, but not more than that. You can go with the 2 or 3 questions, please.
Madam, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, Mr. Joginder, sir.
So, Madam, how this adaptive to change, like the survival of the fittest, or like the dinosaur could not change could not adopt the change, so they are no more. So, the survival of the fittest, how it is different from the present resilience?
Hello.
My question was clear. Could I convey by...
Yeah, your question is clear. I think it's so, but madam, it's not got, I think it's disconnected. Let us wait, sir.
So then I have to repeat the questions when she come back?
Yeah, 1 second, sir. Let us wait. She's not there in the session.
Yes.
Yeah,
Madam, could you listen to my question, or should I repeat?
Ma'am, do you want Dr. Joginder sir to repeat the question, because the net got disconnected?
Yeah, I didn't hear there was a technical lag.
I think. Yeah, Dr. Joginder, could you please repeat again?
Madam, my question was that this like dinosaurs, so they could not adopt the change. So they are no more there. So, and the survival of the fittest. So how it is a different from the present resilience skills.
Can you please be a bit louder? I understood only the dinosaur aspect of it.
Dinosaurs, they could not adopt the change with the time, so they are no more.
Yes.
So it means survival of the fittest. So nowadays, present is, I think, the similar situations. So the environments is changing. So is it? Can we say the same, or the same resilience and adopt to change are the same scale, similar skill?
Yes, yes, I got it. You mean to say that dinosaurs, because they could not survive, because of the survival of the fittest theory and all, I mean, they're no more, they're extinct. So will it be the same when we don't have resilience? And definitely, I say one thing: history repeats. It's right. It's not just the dinosaur. Even in our arena today, those who are not well digitally advanced are falling short. The confidence is being lost. It's more than that, it is the psychological aspects that plays greater role. A dinosaur might not have got the logical thinking, but when we talk about the resilience, there is so much of logic behind it. There is rationality. So I don't think there is a chance for extinction unless we don't apply our logic. Maybe a person may be strongly resilient, or a person may be resilient, as we have seen in the last video. People coped up, they came forward, and only at one point of time or the other they got lost, but ultimately they reached. It is all because of the logicality. So as human beings in the present day, with some logic and reasoning, I don't think it will be as dismal as the dinosaur days. Today, definitely with some logic, I think we can cope up with resilience. Am I clear?
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Pratima. Can I express my views? Am I allowed to? One day?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
In fact, I'm yearning for that.
Thank you. So, the thing here is what I feel. Pardon?
I want to learn something. Come on.
So, as Dr. Jogendra was asking, the dinosaurs became extinct. He was quoting that fittest to the survival, the theory. That's only the theory part of it. But why the dinosaurs didn't survive was, yes, he's right when he said resilience. They did not have the resilience because they could not adapt. Resilience is nothing but adaptation. They couldn't adapt to the changing conditions, and that's why they became extinct. The problem here is, like today, for example, let's take COVID. Last year, in 2020, that is present here, there was one type of COVID. Now they have detected another type of COVID in Britain. It has changed its form. It has evolved.
Yes.
It has evolved. Now, let us look at it from the virus's point of view. When we are not allowing it to spread, when we are restricting it, it automatically showed resilience, and it changed, and it is coming out in a different form. It's evolving. So what I feel, this is my point of view, please.
Yes.
What I feel, maybe here, it is just not logic that counts. It is your adaptation. Yeah, maybe to a certain extent, because we are human beings. For us, it is here in our minds that we need to adapt. But for ordinary, other things, other creatures, other viruses, other animals, unless they have that resilience to change, to adapt themselves to change, maybe, yeah, they will definitely go extinct. So he had a valid point there. It might be the same. Both are the same. Might be. That is what I feel.
Yes,
That's what my
adaptability. Yes.
Yeah. To remain strong even in the face of adversity.
Yes. Yes, that's it. We need to face it. Otherwise, it's extinction.
Yeah.
It's very nice. Yeah.
Thank you, Pratima, and thank you, Vani.
It's my honor.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ma.
One question is there from Mr. Dr. Ramesh Chandra.
Playing the videos and slides on time.
Hello. Hello, ma'am. Hello, Pratima, ma'am. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Or,
one question is there from Dr. Ramesh Chandra. Is inbuilt or it requires to cultured or cultivated? Is resilience inbuilt or it requires to cultured or cultivated?
Is resilience inbuilt or cultivated?
Yeah, it requires to cultured or cultivated.
Cultured or cultivated.
Yes.
So there are three choices here, right? So resilience is the natural tendency within a person to bounce back in case of challenging situations. The best example of inbuilt resilience is when we have a bad cold. When the atmosphere is too chill, automatically we get cold. But the inbuilt resilience within us develops the resistance and tries to fight out. Right? And then once we get healed or whatever it is, once we are treated with it properly, we come out with a resilient attitude to face the challenges. So in one way, resilience at a lower level is inbuilt. It comes along with the person. And then cultured. We need to honing up. We need to work out upon resilience because we already had our medical conditions, the resilience coping up. We know that is the best example what I thought I can take, because even an infant also has a resilience to cope up with certain diseases. So cultured, yes, it is also cultured, because added to natural inbuilt, we definitely need to work out upon it. And when it is extended to a larger challenges, not just the physical challenge and not just the mental challenge, when we need to address all the other challenges, definitely it has to be cultivated. And that is what we are doing in the present day teamworks. And that is what we are going to cultivate in our future workspaces also. So I can say at a primary level, when we just define one narrow area, it is inbuilt. We develop upon it cultured resilience, and ultimately we cultivate. Am I clear?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Thank
you, ma'am. Thank you for shedding a light on us by sharing your profound knowledge with us. Thank you, ma'am. And my unfeigned thanks to Professor Mr. P. Nagmaleshwara Rao, Department of English, RGUKT, Nuzvidu, Krishna District, Dr. B. Usha, former Dean and HOD of HNS Department, Sri Venkateswara Vedic University, Tirupati, Dr. Reddy Shekhar Reddy, Sir, Professor of Christ University, the convener of this program, Dr. K. Sunita Reddy, Professor and HOD of Ascendage Department, SV Engineering College, Tirupati, and my sincere thanks to our Principal, Dr. T. Kalpalata Reddy, SV Engineering College, Tirupati, and my heartfelt and special thanks to all the participants. Thank you and thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you,
ma'am. Announcement to the participants. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. An announcement to the participants who couldn't able to join in the WhatsApp group, request you to join in the given WhatsApp group link, which has been posted in the chat box. And feedback link is also posted in the chat box. I request all the participants to please fill the feedback link. And the feedback link is given in the WhatsApp group also. Yeah. Ma'am, thank you for the session, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Pratima, thank you.
Thank
That
you
was
so
a
much.
wonderful presentation, dear.
Thank you so much, Usha.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. And thank
Good
you.
to
Thank
hear.
you for your wonderful, lending out your knowledge to me, Usha. Thank you so much.
A Merry
It's really
Christmas
a
and a Happy New Year.
wonderful homecoming to me.
Yeah.
Go
Me too.
online.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes words can't express the feelings.
So Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you and wish you the same, my dear.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So,
Thank you,
is the
ma'am, and
session
happy Christmas to you from
Thank
from
you
our
so
side
much,
and from my college and from all the participants' side.
Yes, and I wish you all the very best in every endeavor of yours. Okay, bye bye. See you again.
Bye
Okay.
bye.
Merry
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
ma'am.
Have a wonderful and prosperous New Year with very good health, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Request all the participants to please fill the feedback link which has been posted in the feedback chat box. And tomorrow there will be a session by Dr. Premlata, Assistant Professor, Reva University, Bangalore. She is going to deliver on the topic, the resilient rapport, that is empathy at workplace, and as well as by Dr. Vasudharani Devnathan, Assistant Professor, Department of Biology, ISER, Tirupati. She is going to deliberate on the topic, purging predicament, that is problem solving.